Hello, Guild Wars gamers. Muckluck here. We have got a little bit of Guild Wars 3 news. I don't know if it is worth uploading, but I'm going to read it on stream, and if I think it has value, I'll upload it to YouTube. So if you're watching this on YouTube, then now you know. They posted a new Guild Wars 3 blog today called Our Guild Wars Philosophy. And it reads as follows. Solving player problems, a deep dive into how we build games at ArenaNet. Hello Guild Wars community. Today's Guild Wars 3 update is a big one, as I'm going to be talking about the core philosophy that defines the way we make games. So grab a cup of your favorite drink, sit back or lean forward, and relax, it's reading time. Then, when we set out to build Guild Wars 3, we didn't start by asking what a sequel should look like. We started with something more fundamental, the core philosophy that defines how we have built games at ArenaNet over the last 21 years. Our philosophy is relatively simple. When we make a new game, we take an inventory of the genre at that time, the good and the bad. Then we identify player problems, frustrations, and limitations, and we ask how could we solve them. Today I'm going to talk about 4 core elements players have come to know and love about Guild Wars games that arose from this approach to game development. These are expectations we know players have of any Guild Wars game as a result of the innovations we've delivered on over the years, and I want to share how we're applying these expectations to Guild Wars 3. I was just thinking, the first thing that comes to mind is no subscription fees, because Guild Wars 2 came out in a time with World of Warcraft and EverQuest and stuff like that, and it was a pretty big deal that they didn't have a $15 a month fee. From the beginning, one of the defining ideas behind Guild Wars was simple. Players should be able to buy the game and play it on their own terms. When Guild Wars launched in 2005, that wasn't the norm. Subscription fees were a core part of the MMO model. Choosing not to have one wasn't just a pricing decision, it was a statement about accessibility and long-term value. We carried that forward into Guild Wars 2, and it remains just as important today. Guild Wars 3 will be a buy-to-play game at release. There will be no sub fee. They did touch on this in one of the previous blog posts, but it's worth repeating for anyone who hasn't already heard it. That model matters because it puts players in control. Our goal is for players to feel like the time in the game is something they choose, not something they owe. If you want to take a break and play other games, great, go for it. We'd recommend trying out Guild Wars Reforged and Guild Wars 2. We hear they're awesome. Ready to come back when the next Guild Wars 3 expansion comes out? Wonderful, we'll be here waiting for you. But just saying there won't be a sub fee isn't enough anymore. We're looking carefully at the newest round of modern MMOs and the broad array of Is the newest round of MMOs in the room with us here today? I feel like they're all dying. And the broad array of live service games that often look suspiciously like MMOs, and seeing how sub-like systems have evolved. In many newer games, the subscription hasn't disappeared, it's been reshaped. Paid battle passes, paid recurring seasonal tracks, and similar paid systems often function as a new kind of ongoing fee. Okay, so immediately I'm reminded of my time in Black Desert Online. BDO did not require a monthly sub fee, but it kind of encouraged it. They had this thing that was, let's just call it an optional monthly sub fee, and it doubled your inventory size, and you got more Magic Find, and it doubled your bank size, and there was so much it did for you. And it was you were kind of crippled if you weren't playing with that. It was optional. It truly was, but it felt pretty bad not having it. That model works for some games, but it's not aligned with how we think about our player freedom in a Guild Wars game. It's a form of subscription fee hidden inside of a neat optional package that obfuscates the subscription from the player. When we say Guild Wars 3 won't have a sub fee, we mean it. No monthly fees, no battle pass sub fees, just buy the game and play it when you want. If we earn your trust and you feel we're delivering experiences you love, we'll have expansions and other things you can buy from us if you think they're worth your investment. So, just to touch on this here real quick, expansions, be paid for, great. I am expecting a cosmetic shop. Guild Wars 2 has one, and I would say 99.9% of the player population that I speak to doesn't mind. They have not said this. I want to be very clear on this. They have not said that they're going to have a gem store, but if they have a gem store, I'm unbothered. I would say that there's a high chance that a lot of the income that they earn through Guild Wars 2 is the gem store and cosmetic stuff because of the space between expansions. So if they needed to do that, I'd be unbothered, but that's their decision to make. No pay to win. Speaking of other things you can buy from us, this one's pretty simple, and the statement we made before the release of Guild Wars 2 about our philosophy in this area remains true to this day. We think players should have the opportunity to spend money on items that provide visual distinction, okay, so cosmetic shop, and offer more ways to express themselves. They should also be able to spend money on account services and on time-saving convenience items. Okay, so like bag slots, I guess. But it's never okay in a Guild Wars game for players who spend money to have an unfair advantage over players who spend time. So I want to touch on this for anyone who might be watching this that is not already an active Guild Wars player. Are you eating candy? No, it's a cough drop. I've got a messed up throat. Advantage. Okay. PvP in Guild Wars 2, when you go in there, it's equalized. Now, I mean, like, not like amalgams to rangers. Amalgams are overpowered. But it's equalized in terms of gear. When you go into PvP, everyone gets the same gear options. There is effectively, when you go in there, there is a menu. You go right here. This is the PvP menu. And it's just like, okay, what stats do you want? And you just pick stats. And that's your whole set of gear. It's like, okay, what sigil do you want? And you just pick sigils. What rune do you want? You just pick a rune. It's just a menu like this. Everyone's got the same stuff. And it's supposed to be just skill or like class, pros and cons. That's it. Now, in PvE, you could conceivably spend dollars on the game, turn those dollars into gems, turn the gems into gold, which is a terrible exchange rate, but you can, and then use that gold to buy like a legendary weapon. However, most players don't really consider that to be a big deal because it's really easy to get endgame gear. You could do it in like a week. So that doesn't give you like a huge head start. It's not like, speeding ahead a year in like Raid Shadow Legends or something. And you can't, the other legendary stuff are not tradable. So you can't get like legendary armor or accessories or jewelry. So if you did burn your bank account to get one endgame slot, you still have crap everything else and you still don't know how to play the game. And like literally the same stats on the legendary, you could go to the Wizard's Vault, you could go here and get an Ascended weapon, which has the same stats right there. So it's truly like, is it pay to win? Yes, it is on the spectrum of pay to win, but it's like at the very bottom. It's like a 1 out of 100. So that's kind of how it is. Now, if they avoid that in the sequel, that's fine. Or prequel, I guess. But that's how it is at the moment. Respecting your time and investment. Respecting players' time has always been a core part of Guild Wars, and that's more important today than ever before. One of the most common perceptions about the MMO genre is that the game requires massive time investments to play. Historically, MMO engagement has been viewed as an experience like a second job, where players spend large amounts of time preparing to have fun before they can actually engage in the fun parts. I'll finish this, then I've got stuff to say. Only have 30 minutes to play. Don't play an MMO. You'll need that time just to organize your inventory, figure out what... Okay, that's a bad example for Guild Wars. Figure out what content you're going to play, get your character set up, and oh no, time's up, and you haven't even begun the gameplay yet. So, there's an ongoing thing with some of the big games like World of Warcraft, where it's like the game starts at max level. It's like it's accepted in those games that the players are bored until max level, and then the fun stuff starts. And Guild Wars, in my opinion, is fun from very early on. I think the funnest part of Guild Wars is the combat system. So even at like level 5 on a ranger in the newbie zone, I'm having fun. I don't have to hold still to cast spells. I don't have to be watching my mana bar. I don't have to sit down and eat for 30 seconds after each fight. I can just like go. And I really enjoy that. And also in many MMOs, such as WoW, you've got vertical progression. So it's like if you step away for a few weeks and a new patch comes out and you come back, all your friends might be a tier higher than you and you can't do dungeons with them unless they come down to your level, and then they're getting nothing out of it. And so it just doesn't feel good. And alternatively, in Guild Wars, you've got level caps. It's like if I go to the human newbie zone, I'm squished down to like a level 10 or something, and I can fight the Shadow Behemoth alongside other new players. So you've got level 8s and 80s fighting side by side, and they're both contributing. So it's definitely something that respects your time, both in terms of like the in-game gameplay and the if you take time off and come back thing. Players today have more choices than ever, and so many modern game experiences allow players to quickly and meaningfully get a return on their time investment in the game without significant barriers or preparing to have fun. That means our responsibility isn't just to create content, it's to make sure that the time spent in the game feels meaningful. This has always been important to ArenaNet and the Guild Wars franchise, but we're continuing to solve this philosophy for the modern era of game development and asking how a genre that is dominated by 10 to 20-year-old games modernizes the space. We want you to feel good about the time you invest, whether you're playing every day or only have an hour or two every week or are coming back after a long break from the game. For our existing fans, we've already announced that there will be a new Hall of Monuments that connects your Guild Wars 2 account to Guild Wars 3 and provides a wide array of awards as our means of saying thank you and showing we respect the time and investment you've already made in the franchise. We'll talk in more detail about the future of Guild Wars 3's game and content systems are evolving to create a new take on the MMO that respects players' time and investments. So, Hall of Monuments. I have one of my own pulled up here. This is the Hall of Monuments website that connects Guild Wars 1 to 2. So just a really quick overview for anyone who's never seen this. Essentially, in Guild Wars 1, you earn, let's just say, achievements. There's some for weapon collections, armor collections, like endgame weapons and armor, titles, such as like, God walking amongst mere mortals, and there's others. Heroes and pets. In Guild Wars 1, heroes are like AI companions that can group with you in place of players. And this is basically like ones that leveled up a lot. And mini pets is just like a collection of miniatures. So you can click on any of these and you can see a whole bunch of stuff. And as you get them, you earn points. As points fill in, this bar up here fills up. And then whatever is here, you get in Guild Wars 2. So there is really well-known cosmetic equipment from Guild Wars 1, both armor and weapons, some miniatures, some titles, and some ranger pet skins. Note, those ranger pets are not more powerful than their counterparts, but they look unique and they really show like, oh, this guy played Guild Wars 1, that's awesome. So that is how it works. So in Guild Wars 2, the kind of counterpart to this would be like legendary weapons, legendary armor, rare titles, pets, and then this column would be something else entirely. But they did say that when they released the Hall of Monuments stuff, that there was going to be like a release focused on the core game, a release focused on HOT, and so on and so on and so on. So there's probably going to be achievements on there based on each section of the game, if I had to guess. Okay. We'll talk in more detail in the future about how Guild Wars 3's game and content systems are evolving to create a new take on the MMO that respects players' time and investment. And number 4, innovating and evolving the MMO genre. One of the most important parts of our philosophy, and one that sometimes surprises people, is that we don't aim to make direct sequels. Guild Wars and Guild Wars 2 are very different games, and that was intentional. Though they take place in the same world, each one was built to push against the conventions of its time, solve player problems relevant to that era of games, and explore new ideas in the MMO space. The MMO landscape today isn't the same as it was during the development of GW or GW2. Player expectations have changed, technology has evolved. The way people engage with online worlds are broader and more varied. The lines between an MMO and a live service game have blurred. The amount of time players have to dedicate to a single game has decreased as their library of games has continued to grow. As we approach Guild Wars 3 by simply extending what we've already done, we'd miss the opportunity to move the genre forward. A genre that we've heard so many of you say desperately needs innovation and evolution, so instead of just making a sequel, we're asking the same questions we always do. What does the next evolution of an MMO look like right now? Answering that question means Guild Wars 3 will be its own kind of game, distinct from both Guild Wars Reforged and Guild Wars 2. Our two existing games fall on the two furthest ends of the MMO spectrum. Guild Wars Reforged, at its core, is a game about a small team, a player and their assembled team of henchmen or hero NPCs or other players they want to bring along with them, overcoming challenges in a predominantly instanced game. Unless you invited them along, you never saw other players except in the game's social hubs. When we released the original Guild Wars, we branded the game as a CORPG, a cooperative online RPG. However, the branding never stuck, and everyone informed us we'd released an MMO. We even won multiple MMO of the Year awards. We gave up on the CORPG angle since it didn't stick with players, and we simply embraced what everyone told us that we'd shipped an MMO. Guild Wars 2 is the opposite. At its core, the game is about a giant-scale experiences in an expansive open-world setting. Giant world boss battles, map-wide meta events, and PvP on a massive scale are what Guild Wars 2 are most known for. Although the game offers a wide array of different experiences, unlike other large-scale MMO worlds, there are no servers or worlds that you join that restrict the players you might meet within that giant setting. Instead, the game is organized into maps using our mega server system. Okay, first of all, this right here, it was like this for like 10 years. It was relatively recent in the game that they changed this. So this is true now, but this was not true for the whole history of the game. For example, when people would ask, like, oh, Muck, what server you on? I want to play with you. I'd be like, I'm on the North American servers on the Gates of Madness server. And it was sometime later that they combined all the NA servers, then they combined all the EU servers. So it just mattered, are you on NA or EU? So the game is organized into maps using our mega server system, and players are able to play with anyone who chooses the same region of the real world they play the game from. Guild Wars 3 lands near the middle of the MMO spectrum, which supports the goals we have for our movement and combat systems. While it fits the definition of an MMO significantly more than Reforged does, it doesn't try to replicate the large-scale gameplay pillars that so uniquely define Guild Wars 2. They mentioned giant world boss battles, map-wide metas, and massive-scale PvP. So I'm wondering if this is a hint that there's not going to be map metas, world bosses, or World v World. I hope there's going to be World v World. This ensures that all three of our games can coexist as different experiences on different timelines, telling different stories about the world of Tyria. I realize this is intentionally somewhat broad and vague, and you all want to know a lot more about the specifics of what all this means right now. But we've got a very long campaign ahead of us between now and the launch of Guild Wars 3, and there's plenty of time. We'll discuss the specifics in much greater detail in the future as we share more information on the various game systems, content systems, and concepts that make up Guild Wars 3. Looking ahead, as we continue development, these pillars are our foundation. They shaped not just individual features, but the overall direction of the game. You'll see us come back to them often in the future when we discuss the game in more detail, and as always, player feedback will be a big part of that process. We only know we've solved player problems when you tell us our solutions are working. Guild Wars has always been a conversation between devs and the community. That doesn't change with Guild Wars 3. We invite you to join that conversation on our social channels and our newly launched Guild Wars community Discord server, and there's links to both of these. The conversation has just begun. We can't wait to share where we're going. And once again, those pillars of theirs was no sub fees, no pay to win, respecting time and investment, innovating and evolving the genre. And that's it. That is it. So, something between the two. So I'm wondering if in Guild Wars 1, like they said, when you were in town, you would see everybody. But when you left town, you would only see your group. So it's like the whole world was an instance just for you and your party. I'm wondering if they're going to have something like that. Like we have some slices of that in Guild Wars 2, like fractals, right? When you leave town and go to a fractal, it's just a fractal for you and your team. That's it. But Guild Wars 1 did it with the whole world. So, not really sure. Or I guess I could rephrase that and say, like, every section of the world, it would generate an instance for you. So for people who have not played Guild Wars 1, it'd be like, if you left Divinity's Reach, you would get your own instance of Queensdale. Basically, they did that for every single zone in the game, instead of just dungeons and fractals and raids. So, it's pretty interesting. Definitely more questions than answers after reading this. But, there's a few things that are nice in here. We know that they're not going to do sub fees. We know it's just going to be a buy it once. They're okay with small conveniences and cosmetics on a shop. Personally, I'm fine with that too, but it'll depend on who you ask. No pay to win, respecting your time and investment. So they want to make a game that is not... To me, that just says it's not going to be vertical progression. Because vertical progression is the exact opposite of respecting time and investment. In vertical, it's like you step away, you come back, and you're out of date. And then you have to play catch up before you're allowed to have fun with your friends again. And the last one is innovating and evolving the genre. This one is different from the others. I feel like the other three are just like a solid marble column. And then this one is kind of gelatinous. Like this one can mean different things depending on who you ask. So it is going to change depending on what they feel it needs, right? Because Bobby Stein's definition of what the MMO genre needs, or Cal Cohen's definition of what it needs, or Roy's, might be different than mine or yours or someone else's. So this one is just kind of a remains to be seen thing. It's pretty cool. Pretty cool. All right, good read. So that is what the Guild Wars 3 blog post called Our Guild Wars Philosophy has in it. And if you've got any questions, problems, thoughts, concerns, put them in the comment section down below, and I'll fight you there.